Okay, we are now streaming.
Lovely. Okay. Hey, how are you doing? I'm Lawrence Dean, coming to you from Southern England. Last year's Heliosphere, exactly a year ago, was my first ever online Filk, and it was great fun. And this year's, along with FK-NO2 this weekend, is proving just as much fun. So welcome to the party, or should I say, the Filk Zoom party. Hope my nearest neighbours won't come banging on the door, woken by the music or feet stomping on the floor. I forgot the time zone here, it's morning, 4:30. I'm away at a Filk Zoom party. There's a lot of singing and it's happening online. Everybody takes a turn, that's if they feel inclined. Some even using backdrops they have specially designed, having fun at a Filk Zoom party. Many friends I know are linking up, and so we're really having such a barrel load of fun. Yet as we laugh and sing, we're social distancing, at least until this world pandemic ends its run. Didn't pack a suitcase, I'm not booked in a hotel. Didn't put myself through any kind of travel hell. Still I'll be unavailable for just a little spell. Gone away for a Filk Zoom party. I can hear performers I have never even met, see inside their living room and glimpse a feline pet. In the circumstances it's as good as it'll get, because hey, it's a Filk Zoom party. I'd love to spend some time with all these pals of mine, discussing books we've read and movie shows we've seen. Sadly there is no choice, though I can hear their voice, I've got to settle for their image on a screen. One day things will change and I'll be free at last to roam. Till then I must try to make the most of it at home. I'm so glad I don't have to get through this on my own. I'm aware I can chill at a Filk Zoom party, singing songs of fantasy and songs of outer space, sharing my weekend with many a happy smiling face. Right now I wouldn't want to be in any other place but away at a Filk Zoom party. I'm away at a Filk Zoom party. We're all away at a Filk Zoom party. That one was slightly biographical in that when I'm on Zoom internationally, the time zones don't always work in my favour. Right. The next song. Okay, like many of you, I have not set foot in a shop in over a year. And one of the things I miss the most, one of the places I miss the most, is bookshops. Because there's nothing quite like the smell of books and the thrill of rooting around in shelves and stacks looking for treasure. Secondhand heaven. I'll just change that to 5th fret. Okay. Browsing around in a charming used bookstore, corridors crammed to such a degree that I could spend hours exploring its wonders. Second-hand heaven to a reader like me. I might be after a favourite author, a lesser known title that I've never seen. Maybe there's one in that pile in the corner The thrill of the search keeps me ever so keen, browsing around in a charming used bookstore, corridors crammed to such a degree that I could spend hours exploring its wonders. Second-hand heaven to a reader like me. Or I could be hoping I'll chance to discover a writer I haven't encountered before, prose that appeals to this seasoned book lover, engages, delights, leaves me longing for more. Browsing around in a charming used bookstore, corridors crammed to such a degree that I could spend hours exploring its wonders. Second-hand heaven to a reader like me. Shelf upon shelf waiting for my attention, dragons and magic, dark castles and trolls, alien worlds and ingenious inventions, novels and stories that speak to my soul. Browsing around in a charming used bookstore, corridors crammed to such a degree that I could spend hours exploring its wonders. Second-hand heaven to a reader like me. If I'm in luck, I may find an edition of exquisite beauty, then my heart will swell. I'll pay the price, never mind the condition. As soon as it's mine, I'll take care of it well. Da 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 da, 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 da 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 da. Time it runs out and I need to be going. Trust the real world to intrude on my fun. But as I clutch my purchases, inside I'm crowing, imagining all the adventures to come. Browsing around in a charming used bookstore, corridors crammed to such a degree that I could spend hours exploring its wonders. Second-hand heaven to a reader like me. Second-hand heaven to a dreamer like me. Instrument change. The tune for this next one came to me in a dream, and it wasn't long before a line attached itself to a line of dialogue from one of my favourite Shakespeare plays, Henry V, specifically the Branagh version. To England from the fields of France, great news is come our way, of battle won and honour gained upon St. Crispin's Day. Our king went forth to Normandy, to Harfleur town he came, and there he pressed with might of arms his just and rightful claim. And when at length the siege was o'er, and Harfleur it did yield, 6,000 English fighting men went marching in the field. 2 weeks and more they travelled far, all headed for Calais, till they espied the massive host which stood and barred their way. On battle's eve by king's command the English camp lay still, while Frenchmen boasted through the night the numbers they would kill. Next morning, when both battle lines stood ready for the fray, King Henry did address his men to drive all fear away. Though we be few, just is our cause, God fights for us today. Come share with me sweet victory upon St. Crispin's day. And when at last was battle joined, and charging French gave cry, the pride of English longbowmen a deadly hail let fly. And valiantly the English knights fought blow by mighty blow, till France's flower of chivalry was grievously laid low. All glory to Almighty God, to whom with thanks we pray, for victory at Agincourt upon St. Crispin's Day. And if you'd like to hear the medieval harmony style version of Upon St. Crispin's Day, it's available as the bonus track on my Filk CD, Labyrinth of Shadows, which is on Bandcamp. Now, I wrote this song in 2001, so it's already 20 years old, which kind of blows my mind. Okay. If I ever get the chance, by the way, to record another CD, then this will be the title track. And it's called Following Our Dreams. I think I need a bit of a drink, so let's just... That's better. I've just mixed it up with the other intro. Let's start that again. All over this world there are people who yearn for stories of how it could be, for us and our kind as the centuries turn. All of the wonders we'll see. They read and collect all the books for their own, cast episodes to the TV, catch every movie however it's shown, thus do their spirits soar free. They are following the future, following their dreams, fables spun of tomorrows to come, with many things yet to be seen. If you would go where these devotees go, there's plenty of room for you there. Soon you could know the thrills that they know. Imagine it too if you dare. For then you will find you've discovered a place amazing, enchanting and rare, that's filled with the magic of infinite space, breathtaking visions to share. You are following the future, following your dreams, fables spun of tomorrows to come, with many things yet to be seen. Once you have chosen to step through that door, it's there that your heart will now dwell, like so many others who've come there before, including this singer as well. While all of our troubles just vanish away, whenever we're under its spell, the universe beckons, we're leaving today, for June or for Pern or for Pell. We are following the future, following our dreams, fables spun of tomorrows to come, with many things yet to be seen. Yes, we're following the future, following our dreams, fables spun of tomorrows to come, with many things yet to be seen. Right, now, one of the first UK Filk books was called The Old Grey Wassail Test. And it had a fantastic cover by Sue Mason, featuring a bunch of skiffy types waiting outside an interesting looking place, and waiting, in fact, to get into a talent show. There were lots of interesting looking people in and amongst the crowd, and it was just crying out to be turned into a song. And so I did. However, if I tried playing it with my picks, with my thumb picks and finger picks, it's not going to come out right. So let's try it with one of these. I'm standing in a queue outside the Luton Pointy Ear, with the strangest looking people who have come from far and near. For tonight we will discover who can sing their song the best, trying out for fame and fortune in the old grey wassail test. There's a Vulcan Starfleet officer still in his uniform. Now he's tuned his tribalodium, he's ready to perform. But should he play band from Argo, he'll make lots of people sore, and get kicked out by the Wookiee, who's the bouncer on the door. Here beside me is a Viking, and he doesn't mean to lose. He will use his sword for fighting and his horn for drinking booze. But the axe he carries with him will knock everybody dead. When he plays some heavy metal louder still than Motorhead. Our science fiction folk night is a very special thing, and there's lots of fellas dream of being crowned the Filking King. But my money's on a lady, she's in quite another class, for her singing is exquisite and her voice could shatter glass. There's a balding gent who represents the local talent here. In the clubs and joints of Marsport he's applauded and revered. But tonight I fear his efforts will be doomed to come to naught. For although the crowd is with him, all the judges have been bought. So if you've a song you'd like to sing, then come on, join the queue. Doesn't matter if you're Elvish or from Squadron 42. Just as long as you can keep your head yet sing like one possessed, you've a chance of fame and glory in the old grey wassail test. And that one is called Q for a Song, spelt with the Q. And you can find that one on the CD. Okay, well, in 1991, I started going to folk clubs locally, just so I could sing more. And it wasn't long before I was trying to write folk songs for that audience. This is the first folk song I ever wrote. And it started out quite innocently, sounding just pretty traditional, but as I wrote it, it kind of took on a direction all of its own, which I hadn't quite expected. As I walked out in the fields one day for to take the air in the month of May, I slipped on a cowpat and cursing did say, "'Tis a right mess I've made of my trousers." I hastened down to a nearby stream and I washed them there until they were clean. 'Twas then I did hear a young maiden scream as she saw me there holding my trousers. Well, I chose to linger and tried to explain, but she seemed so distressed that my words were in vain. Then her father appeared and I fled down the lane, but his doggy had hold of my trousers. Man and dog, they pursued me all over the place, And as other folks saw me, they joined in the chase. And so there developed a marathon race as they followed me all round the houses. If you could but imagine the terrible scene as they chased me all over the quaint village green. And the ladies, they swooned over what they had seen and passed out in the arms of their spouses. But it's now that I've reason my fate to bewail, for at length I was captured and thrown into jail. And the judge, he was harsh and refused to post bail, and it's all for the want of my trousers. So take heed, you young men, if my fate you'd not share, you should try to hang on to the clothes that you wear. And be warned of the hazards of going half bare, and the terrible wrath it arouses. And that one's called A Streak of Bad Luck. The next one is a collaboration. I wrote it with the Scottish fan Robert Noj Snedden, and it's called The Harp and the Axe. The harp and the axe go hand in hand. The bard and the warrior understand that circumstances can demand they both be used as weapons. The warrior's axe can fell a foe, or shatter a shield with a single blow. Yet still the bard is apt to show that his is a mightier weapon. A minstrel can lay low a king who sees no harm and lets him sing of honor, pride, and freedom's ring that makes men reach for weapons. A usurper holds the throne today. The rightful prince still stands at bay. So now I too must join the fray. A harp my only weapon. The harp my only weapon. Have you ever wondered what would happen? Have you ever wished that you could just flick your fingers and something that you lent to somebody years ago and never got back would just magically reappear? Well, just supposing that actually did happen. They say if you want to keep your friends, neither a borrower nor a lender be. Well, when I got to wishing I'd followed that rule, with my possessions hadn't been so free. A ton of books, a raincoat, a jacket, some shoes, I was oh so surprised to see. On the day everything I ever lent out found its way back to me. I opened a cupboard and out of it fell many items of stationery, a mountain of pencils and ballpoint pens reaching nearly to my knees. The closet bulged with old toys, and there on a peg were some childhood dungarees. On the day everything I ever lent out found its way back to me. The neighbors were queuing outside my door. They were arriving in 2s and 3s, holding cups full of sugar and ladders and spades and a portable TV. I stood in shock. A flatmate I'd not seen in years returned a useless old house key. On the day everything I ever lent out found its way back to me. Then the postman, he knocked, waiting there on my step. Looked like he'd been on a shopping spree. He held several umbrellas wedged under his arm and carried packages 23. Some envelopes had money, and neatly folded inside was a note of apology. On the day everything I ever lent out found its way back to me. And I thought, as I struggled to store all this stuff, filled with feelings of unease, I would sooner have given it all away. Let people do with things as they pleased. I missed the friends I used to have who dropped out of touch over my former property. On the day everything I ever lent out found its way back to me. On the day everything I ever lent out found its way back to me. And I call that one Returned to Lender. I've written 3 songs about the Discworld, and I was lucky enough to be able to sing them to Sir Terry Pratchett in 1991 at the Glasgow Eastercon, when he wandered into the Filk and stayed to listen. And so this is one of them, at the Sign of the Broken Drum. There is a tavern in Ankh-Morpork where seasoned drinkers come. It's a real rough place where you hide your face and you drink until you are numb. But best beware, for there's plenty there of knaves and rogues and scum. In the smoke-filled gloom you could meet your doom at the Sign of the Broken Drum. If someone near says you pinch their beer, don't answer with abuse, for the clientele raise a merry hell at the slightest little excuse. Just try to stall as they curse and call, and heed this rule of thumb: if you start a brawl, it's a painful crawl from the Sign of the Broken Drum. And don't lose your nerve if you should observe a many-legged wooden chest For the ale that's on sale is a potent brew, and the visions you see are spectacular at best. Now since the site has been set alight and burned down to the ground, people drink instead at the foul troll's head. It's the nearest midden around. But rest assured, for the drums insured, all for a princely sum, and before too long all the drunken throng will be back at the mended drum. Okay, well, this is a combined Heliosphere and FK-NO2, so we've got a Canadian element to this convention, as we all know. The British Canadian poet Robert W. Service was described by some as the Canadian Kipling. So in true Leslie Fish manner, I thought I'll have a crack at turning a couple of his poems into songs. And this is one of them, and it's called Unforgotten. And you may have heard Urban Tapestry sing this one, because they heard it from me. I know a garden where the lilies gleam, and one who lingers in the sunshine there. She is than white-stoled lily far more fair, and oh, her eyes are heaven lit with dream. I know a garret cold and dark and drear, and one who toils and toils with tireless pen, until his brave sad eyes grow weary. Then he seeks the stars pale, silent as a seer. And it's strange, for desolate and dim between these two there rolls an ocean wide. Yet he is in the garden by her side, and she is in the garret there with him. Well, my wife and I are very hooked on Chinese fantasy drama. She tends to watch a lot of it and picks out all the best ones and tries them out on me, and I get hooked on those. There's a lot of really good stuff out there, and I could just mention a few: Eternal Love, The Untamed, Mystic 9, Legend of Fuyo. After I'd seen a few of these, all of which are highly recommended, after I'd seen a few, I did spot that there were certain elements that kind of were in common across a lot of them. And so I thought, this is crying out for a song, so I promptly obliged. Chinese fantasy TV drama. Chinese fantasy TV drama has taken over my social life. Elder gods, magic and awesome fight scenes, eternal love and relentless strife. Acolytes dressed in white, ever training, undergoing trials in the mortal realm. Another seal broken and one remaining. Giant pounding battle drums and mighty spells. Chinese fantasy TV drama has taken over my social life. Elder gods, magic and awesome fight scenes, eternal love and relentless strife. Opulent kingdoms where something's rotten, evil scheming villains we all despise. Family massacres unforgotten, endless drawn out death scenes with their long goodbyes. Chinese fantasy TV drama has taken over my social life. Elder gods, magic and awesome fight scenes, eternal love and relentless strife. Thwarted love rivals now bent on vengeance, someone somewhere suffering from loss of sight. Youthful pretty actors too hot to mention, dressed in black assassins in the dead of night. Chinese fantasy TV drama has taken over my social life. Elder gods, magic and awesome fight scenes, eternal love and relentless strife. Long suppressed memories now returning, coughing up some blood if you are hurt real bad. Secret closed off rooms with lots of candles burning, finding out the emperor is not your dad. Chinese fantasy TV drama has taken over my social life. Elder gods, magic and awesome fight scenes, eternal love and relentless strife. Falling foul of all the strict rules of heaven, making up a talisman with one quick scroll. Musical instruments used as weapons, kick-ass fierce corpses who come when you call. When you Chinese fantasy TV drama has taken over my social life. Elder gods, magic and awesome fight scenes, eternal love and relentless strife. Dragons and phoenixes, nine-tailed foxes, women fooling everybody dressed as men, marketed in beautifully crafted boxes. Binge watch a whole series, then you start again. Chinese fantasy TV drama has taken over my social life. Elder gods, magic and awesome fight scenes, eternal love and relentless strife. Chinese fantasy TV drama has taken over my hold on life. Elder gods, magic and awesome fight scenes, eternal love and relentless strife. Right. Change of implement. So one of the folk songs I've written over the years was Roving Man with a Roving Eye, and it was very much in the I thought was the traditional vein. Didn't sound like it was Filk at all, but when my wife heard it, she said, "What do you mean? It's got all those elements that are required for a high fantasy novel. It's got bard, thief, mercenary, rogue kind of character in it. So I guess it does work as a Filk song. Roving man with a roving eye." I'm a roving man with a roving eye, and I'll be seeing you by and by. But I can't stay long, then I'll have to fly. For I'm a roving man with a roving eye. From town to town I ply my trade. In gold and silver I am paid. The folk I meet bid me to stay, but soon I will be on my way. I'm a roving man with a roving eye, and I'll be seeing you by and by. But I can't stay long, then I'll have to fly. For I'm a roving man with a roving eye. At many an inn I drink my fill, and spend my evenings as I will. Fair maidens, they are drawn to me. A handsome stranger they do see. I'm a roving man with a roving eye, and I'll be seeing you by and by. But I can't stay long, then I'll have to fly. For I'm a roving man with a roving eye. I take a sweetheart by and by, and in contentment we do lie. But for to linger I've no mind, for I am not the wedding kind. Said I'm a roving man with a roving eye, and I'll be seeing you by and by. But I can't stay long, then I'll have to fly. For I'm a roving man with a roving eye. And when her father comes for me, with gun and rope and henchmen 3, I slip away as well I might, and disappear into the night. I'm a roving man with a roving eye, and I'll be seeing you by and by. But I can't stay long, then I'll have to fly. For I'm a roving man with a roving eye. Yes, I'm a roving man with a roving eye, and I'll be seeing you by and by. But I can't stay long, then I'll have to fly. For I'm a roving man with a roving eye. Oh, I'm a roving man with a roving eye. Just a minute. Well, that went quickly. Already time for the last song, so I'd like to thank all of you for listening. Thank Mark Grossman for inviting me to do a set. Ken Lalonde for oodles of patience and all his help with the sound check. To my wonderful long-suffering wife, who also is the techie in this household, for all her help with fixing things when they weren't working. And thank you all for coming. I'm going to finish with my latest song I've just finished. And it's the first song I've written about space exploration. And I'd also like to thank Jeff Landis for his technical expertise. He's a friend of mine, technical expertise, and for looking over the lyrics. Earth-type worlds. Earth-type worlds, countless possible Earth-type worlds, hidden out in the depths of space, far from me and from you. What would it take for life to establish a foothold there? Could it be we are not alone? Or are we truly that rare? So we use our rovers to explore the sands of Mars, sending back the data, sounds and pictures from afar, drilling for core samples as they weave upon their way, telling us more with each passing day. Earth-type worlds, countless possible Earth-type worlds, hidden out in the depths of space, far from me and from you. What would it take for life to establish a foothold there? Could it be we are not alone? Or are we truly that rare? Many exoplanets, our best instruments have shown, some of them located in the habitable zone. Are there telltale traces, signs detectable from here? With some new advance, will it become clear? Earth-type worlds, countless possible Earth-type worlds, hidden out in the depths of space, far from me and from you. What would it take for life to establish a foothold there? Could it be we are not alone? Or are we truly that rare? Can we be so certain what it is we're looking for? Would it even follow what we know of nature's laws? Are we just assuming all life must be carbon-based? Another conceit of the human race. Earth-type worlds, countless possible Earth-type worlds, hidden out in the depths of space, far from me and from you. What would it take for life to establish a foothold there? Could it be we are not alone? Or are we truly that rare? Heading ever onward, we'll keep searching high and low, Will we have an answer in our lifetimes? Who's to know? Only thing for sure, the change in us would be profound. Knowing our place and whither we're bound. Earth-type worlds, countless possible Earth-type worlds, hidden out in the depths of space, far from me and from you. What would it take for life to establish a foothold there? Could it be we are not alone? Or are we truly that rare? Thank you. See you in the circle.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. As always, an amazing set of performances. Thank you for